Hillary Clinton is getting pretty roughed up by the media over what I'm calling return of the deplorables. Here's a report in the Hill newspaper. Even the staunchest Clinton allies, as well as longtime advisors, say her comments were cringeworthy and ultimately detrimental to Democrats. So what did the former First Lady and former presidential candidate say? Well, she was at a conference in Mumbai and she was being interviewed on a stage by India Today. And she was talking, of course, again about the 2016 election. Now, if you're starting to get the impression that Hillary Clinton can't stop talking about the 2016 election, I suspect you may be right. And her party's not entirely happy about that. We'll get to that in a moment. So here's what she had to say. Clinton said that she had won the coasts in the election, but Donald Trump had won the middle of the country. I won the places that are optimistic, diverse, dynamic, moving forward. And his whole campaign, Make America Great Again, was looking backward. You know, you didn't like black people getting rights. You don't like women, getting jobs. You don't want, to see Indian Americans succeeding more than you are. So just stop and think about that. So essentially, she's now gone past blaming Donald Trump. And by the way, it's fine for Hillary Clinton to go out and attack the president over his current policies, and if she wants to relitigate the election, sure. But she's saying the people that voted for him, she doesn't really qualify it, don't want black people getting rights, don't like women getting jobs. What century are we talking about? Don't like legal immigrants. It's really something. And then she went on to say that white women voted for Trump, and this one really gets me, because of ongoing pressure to vote the way that your husband, your boss, your son, whoever believes you should. Really? The first female nominee of a major party for president says that women are just subservient and that many of them are just doing what their husbands or sons or bosses tell them to? I don't have that view of women. I'm surprised to hear her express that. And maybe it's, again, just a sort of a rationale for why she didn't do even better among women given her groundbreaking status as a presidential candidate. I mean, I'm sure there are some women who might have sort of gone along with what their husbands wanted, but is that really a significant factor? And so what you have now is a number of Democrats, particularly those running for re-election in areas that are not, just super blue states, clearly criticizing or distancing themselves from their former nominees. So, for example, Claire McCaskill, senator from Missouri, telling the Washington Post, I think they were expressing their frustration with the status quo. I may not agree with their choice, but I certainly respect them. I don't think that's the way you should talk about any voter, especially ones in my state. So all this is kind of a giant flashback to the fall of 2016 when Hillary Clinton talked about the basket of deplorables. And that backfired so badly that a lot of Trump supporters started wearing T-shirts, calling themselves deplorables, called themselves deplorables on Twitter. And here she is sort of revisiting that. Now, this is at a time when her party is trying to gear up to win the 2018 midterms, and also when a number of fresher faces, and there's a whole long list of them, but they include people like Kamala Harris, Terry McAuliffe, Cory Booker, Kirsten Gillibrand, and others, are positioning themselves for 2020, perhaps to take over the party or win the nomination from the likes of Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. And they don't really want to be arguing about what Hillary Clinton said about 2016. They want to be looking forward. They want to deliver a positive message as well as criticism of President Trump. So this whole thing, I think, just sucks up a lot of oxygen because whatever Hillary Clinton says, she gets lots of coverage. And to take the party back to this debate about deplorables and people who don't like blacks and so forth, I mean, I just think it's a mistake when politicians lose or are frustrated to blame the voters. In this case, a chunk of the country. Yeah, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. She should go down in history as somebody who, unfortunately, from her point of view, blew a winnable election, but she did win the popular vote. The more she does this, the more she's going to be remembered as somebody who kept insulting the voters, some of whom, were people who supported Barack Obama or other Democrats in the past, but they voted for Donald Trump because he had an economic message that appealed to working class voters in those states, like Michigan, like Wisconsin, like Pennsylvania. Why Hillary Clinton keeps doing this, I don't know, but I think it's safe to say at this point that her fellow Democrats are not very happy with her.